Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews, and before we get back to my regularly scheduled programming, I wanted to finish up Doom Patrol before I got to it, because there's new stuff that's out that I'd like to be reviewing, and I didn't want to wait another 2 weeks once I get back to things to normal to finish covering Doom Patrol. So I watched the final 2 episodes of Season 1 today. Also because I'm going to cancel my DC Universe subscription. I don't use it. I don't watch it. It's nothing personal to DC Universe. I haven't been making videos, first off. I have Batman the Animated Series. I have Justice League. I don't have the time for all the content. Maybe I'll go back to it someday. I don't plan on reviewing Doom Patrol again, even though I did enjoy this first season somewhat. So I just wanted to get this done before I started on. And that's not a diss again to the show or anything like that, because actually these last 2 episodes were really, really great. Really, really imaginative. I didn't even find myself distracted by all the swearing, because I feel like in fact it worked a lot of times in these 2 episodes. We're talking about Penultimate Patrol and Ezekiel Patrol. And they actually work really well as a two-parter instead of just splitting it up into 2 episodes that would take me 2 weeks to do. So, yeah, I think that everybody's characters finally come together in these 2 episodes. I feel like we get to a lot of points about, their history with Niles and what Niles was all about. We actually get a few new clues into what would be going on next season. And Mr. Nobody, is he alive? Is he dead? It doesn't seem to be that he's dead, and it's always great to be able to leave that open-ended. But this was some of the most bananas shit as well to cover and talk about. We get Mr. Nobody's backstory, why he is the way he is, and we find out that the person behind, full spoilers by the way, the person behind all this, because Nobody was kind of telling him the whole time, the real bad guy here is your boss. Like, once you find out, probably not going to like him too much. And so he's got a lot to answer for if they, I don't know, I'm assuming they're making a second season of this, right? Because DC Universe, they already canceled Swamp Thing. And I think that they need to have some new content. And I don't think they really have it, right? Except for Titans. Titans Season 2 is out. Maybe Doom Patrol Season 2 is rolling up, but if they really want to be successful, they need to start having new content, not Harley Quinn, okay? I know my friend Gino covers that show. I haven't watched it past episode 1, so I think I watched episode 2, but I don't think I reviewed it. Anyway, let's talk about these 2 episodes. I thought it was really great showing how Mr. Nobody basically was rejected by everyone. The evil people let him go. His girlfriend broke up with him because she wanted to be with an evil genius. And so basically he's got this major inferiority complex. But he was made, and they make it like that he was made by Niles, right? That's what I think they kind of allude to. And Niles is really the cause of all of this. I love Cliff's reaction to Danny Street. The fuck? Yeah, my sentiments exactly. Beard Hunter is here. They don't really explain what happened to him when he found the doll, but apparently when he went there, that's where the daughter was, and I guess the daughter must have created the fake Niles. They don't explain a few things, and hopefully if there is a season 2, or when there is a season 2, they'll explain it. Like I said, I will probably go back and watch another season of this. I just won't review it. Unless I watch it and it turns out to be like phenomenal. I love the whole looking for Niles in the white pages, in the blank spaces of the comic book. I thought that was really, really cool and unique. Flex has only one role in this two-parter. Once it's done, he's gone. We don't see him again. But when he flexes, like, I don't know why we needed this scene, but it's here. And again, it just is more weirdness from the show as he flexes, and instead of transporting them into the comic book, he makes everybody orgasm really, 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 really hard. No pun intended. And not just them, the entire street and Danny Street, everybody that's there all has a giant orgasm. Some were trying, some looked like they were just faking it. But I guess they all were faking it because they're actors, but some of them weren't really acting very, like, I thought Cliff was doing the best job and he didn't even feel anything as a character. Um, it was funny, but it just felt a little, I don't know, just a little unnecessary. It felt like it was padding out the episode. Um, but Mr. Nobody, they get in there and he immediately does what they were said he was going to do. He's going to separate us and try to make us, panic. And he offers them to give them everything they want to go back to the way that things were or fix their lives, basically. But the question is, why would he offer that unless he was really afraid of them? And they don't get to that point, but they just don't let him use them. And it's a nice scene for them to show, the audience that they've grown. Again, it's a really long scene, and I guess they needed it to be in here that long, but it was a really long moment of them. Like every other moment on the show is kind of long. The final episode was 55 minutes long, and again, tighten these episodes up. Just because you have the freedom of not having commercials, if you don't have a full story to tell, tighten it up a little bit. I'd say that about Netflix, and I'd say that a lot about Amazon stuff as well. Not everything it has to be more just because you have the freedom to do more. I would say the same thing if for like The Expanse, right? The Expanse season 4 felt like those episodes should have been longer, and then they could have had less episodes because that felt like one long movie. But if they tightened up the story, then you could lengthen the episodes and shorten the season, because I felt like a lot of those episodes ended when they could have gone on longer. So it works both ways. We find out that Vic's mom died so he could live, which again causes more grief for him and his father just when they get back on track. Rita figuring out how to narrate herself out of the situation was really great. April Bowlby, again, I can't say enough good things about her because, and to me, she's probably the best actress on the show. I like Diane Guerrera. They're both really fantastic, but I think she kind of edges her out a little bit here because a lot of what Diane was doing, as it went on, it just kind of was the same thing. It's impressive to see her go through different personalities, but then we just kind of see them over and over and over again. It doesn't take away. I still think she's doing a great job, but I think in the end, April really should be considered the best performance of any of the actors on this show, because Robot, it's a voice performance mostly, right? And so is Larry's. Vic, he's a great CW type actor. So really, Diane and April are the best. Next, you've got Timothy Dalton, who's chewing scenery Shatner style, and especially Alan Tudyk just owning the character of Mr. Nobody. But what I'm saying about April Bowlby though is, like, I used to think of her as just that really hot actress on Two and a Half Men. Didn't care about what she was saying. It was that whole performance was just about how she looks. In this, she gets to actually, like, act. I had never seen her just be able to create a fully fleshed out character that I cared about. And so on that level, she succeeds more than I think anybody on this show. And when they killed Nobody, I was like, oh, he's not dead. That was just too easy. You don't kill Alan Tudyk like that. Even though the ending kind of ended the same way, but in a funnier fashion, and I think it was earned. Because he's got him in a loop. As soon as you saw the giant robot, you knew that they were in a loop. But we find out that Niles is the reason that they all became what they are. He was working for the Bureau of Normalcy and himself. He was creating the situations, he was seeing the accidents, he was trying to create immortality, he was trying to experiment on people that basically have immortality, which is nice to finally get the answer to that. Why isn't everybody, like, he purposely found people that would never, basically ever be able to die if he got it working right. And why the immortality? I don't know if we ever really got an answer to that. Maybe that's in second season. Maybe that has to do with his daughter. Um, because why would she still be a little girl, right? And they never show her face, even though she looks like Dorothy from behind from the Wizard of Oz. Um, and we see that even though they got out, that Mr. Nobody let them go, that because he got his revenge on Niles and everything. Uh, Larry is just kind of hiding out. I mean, he's still working with his negative spirit to see how long they can get out. But like Rita's teaching me a bunch of little shitheads that I'm telling you right now, man. Kids, if kids can talk to their teachers like that, I'm serious. Like we need to like work on the school system a little bit more, man. Because if anybody told me to fuck my face as a teacher, I would want to fling that kid against the wall. Um, Jane gets a cure, but at a price. She gets this drug that basically quiets all the noise in her head. Cliff's been keeping an eye on her, and Vic's having nightmares about everybody being dead and him ripping himself apart, like he's his own worst nightmare. So they all have their, even though they got out, they're still not living their best lives. And Mr. Nobody even realizes that once you got his revenge, what else is there? And suddenly the talking cockroach Ezekiel shows up, and him and Mr. Whiskers and Mr. Nobody formulate a plan to go after Niles' daughter. So they kidnap Danny Street and her, and everybody has to go in there. I actually really like that scene where Cliff was swearing a lot, where he's just like, and look, I swear all the fucking time, okay? But like, I've been complained about a lot of the swearing, unnecessary swearing in this, but when he's like, I don't want to be the fucking asshole, that has to be the fucking asshole, that doesn't fucking be the one that fucking walks into the painting, like, that worked. That was really funny. So they get into the painting to get Danny back, even though they all hate Niles now. They're doing it to save his daughter. They find out that quickly the cockroach and the rat were made huge by Niles' daughter, and they turn the tables on him, and basically his plan is he was pushed out just like he was pushed out of the Brotherhood of Evil. The beard-eating guy is there, even though he says he doesn't eat beards anymore, but then you find out that he ate a bunch of beards from Lincoln, ZZ Top, and somebody else. And it's just, they get this whole plan together where they all have to get eaten by the cockroach so that Larry can use his negative spirit to open a rip through. This was a new one too. Like, they didn't explain how this is possible, that he could create a rip through the dimension out of Danny Street, out of the painting, and into the regular world. Because they also don't explain, like, once we're stuck in the painting, why would there be a nuclear explosion and radiation? Maybe the radiation was part of something on Danny Street before, I don't know. But, because I don't remember there anything being a bomb or whatever. It just kind of all happens and I accepted it, even though a lot of it to me didn't make sense. We got to see a giant rat and a giant cockroach French kiss. That was something I'll never be able to unsee. But again, Rita telling Mr. Nobody how to narrate his way out of the situation so that they all get swallowed by the cockroach. They get out. Mr. Nobody and Mr. Beard get stuck in the painting, the blank canvas, which I thought was really funny. Like, hey, they all got out and because of the radiation, but what about us? And he's just like, oh shit. Like, yeah, we never talked about how I was getting out of this. So he's apparently stuck in the painting. Everybody's out, but now they're small, so they got to figure out how to be big again. And that's the end of the season. And I thought it was really, really well done. And I think I've made my point pretty concise without going too long about it. I also love the touch of when the shit goes down, you got by Cypress Hill. That was just great. There was so many great meta references, so many cool things, especially anytime they were in the negative space talking about, like, he's reading the magazine about that says the worst TV show in the world and it ends with a whimper and all this stuff. They take a lot of shots at themselves, and I do hope this gets a season 2. I still have no interest in seeing Teen Titans or whatever they call it, Titans. But like I said, when this show comes back and it finishes its run, I will go back and watch season two and probably review it as a whole, maybe. But 15 episodes of this, it was too much. It was too much because there were some dogs in there that made it getting through this season a real slog. But for the most part, like I always said, this show has some of the best ideas and best imagination, and it has great performances. Even though, like I said, learn from your lessons, but I don't think they are. I don't think they're going to learn the lessons about swearing and things like that. Like they still got to get those 14-year-old boys to sit there and go hoo 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 hoo. So, look, I used to be 14 once too, so I probably love this show. But anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, hit the bell for all notifications. You can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews saying, thanks for watching these Doom Patrol episodes. Sorry it took me so long to finish them. Once we get back to regular programming, I have some special stuff that I've been wanting to review for a while. So, have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.